We are back. After an 11-year hiatus, we finally have a brand new college football game, and I'm excited, you guys. I couldn't resist. I had to hop back on the sticks because it brings back all the feelings of nostalgia back from 2013, and that was around the time I really started to get into dynasty mode and trying to transform these smaller programs into powerhouses, and that's kind of what I had an idea for in this series. Now, I decided to pick San Diego State completely at random. It was either out of them or Eastern Carolina, maybe Kennesaw State, but I wanted to go with a two-star program here on the West Coast, and from what I remember back from NCAA 14, the smaller Southern California schools were all but forgotten, so hopefully we can change that up this time around. Now, you're getting your first look at Coach Joe Cochise, a recruiter archetype out of Southern California, with ties to both Bama and Notre Dame. I bet that's a pretty complex story to work through. But he'll be bringing Alabama's offense along with a base 4-3 defense down to San Diego. Now, getting into the actual creation part of my coach, I'm a little uncomfortable to admit that it took way too long for me to select a character here. I don't know what the problem was, but there I was 15 minutes later still scrolling through these random generic character models. I had to step away for a minute and think to myself, what am I really trying to accomplish here? But in the end, here's the character I decided to go with. He looks pretty serious, borderline intimidating. He seems like a straight up no-nonsense type of coach, and I think that that's the type of guy that's going to get the job done for us. So the school's offering a 3-year contract with the goal of making a bowl game. That might be a tall order considering the fact that the team only won 4 games last year. But we're up for the challenge, and it looks like our job security is solid enough to at least get through the next couple of seasons unless something catastrophic happens. Now, moving ahead a bit, I want to take a look at the dynasty settings really quickly. I am going to be playing this on Heisman difficulty with all default settings, but I am looking for a good slider set that I can use because I am just not a fan of the way that the Heisman AI is always seeming to be in the perfect position to get whatever they need. So if you guys happen to come across any good sliders, definitely send it my way, but for now, this is what we're going to be using. We've now got to set up our recruit board to scout, but before we do that, let's take a look at the current roster. Now, I'm not going to dive too heavily into each individual player. You guys can see the ratings for yourselves. Just know I'm coming in like Deion Sanders when he got to Colorado. And I'm telling a lot of these players, don't expect to be here next season, so you better get that transfer process started now. There are a few players that I'm interested in seeing on the field from this current roster, most notably Jashawn Polk with that 97 speed and 94 acceleration. It is unfortunate though that he is a senior, so I'll have to find his replacement pretty early on in the recruitment process. And there's also my quarterback AJ Duffy, who is a sophomore, and I believe he had 92 throw power and mid-80s across the rest of his throw ratings. I'm gonna have to go back and fact check that. That doesn't sound too bad for a sophomore. The only downside on him I'd say is his speed. I think he had 75 speed. I can definitely work with all the other ratings, but speed is a deal breaker for me. And one thing that you'll find in common with a lot of these guys is they'll have semi-decent to lower overalls than you would like, but their individual ratings aren't really that bad on paper. So I'm curious to find out if maybe this might be one of those sleeper teams that'll come out of nowhere and just sneak up on you this season. We'll see how that plays out. Another item worth mentioning is that 3 of my starting offensive linemen are seniors, so they'll be gone next season, and that includes our best overall lineman up front in Miles Monroe at right guard. So maybe prioritizing the trenches in this first year of the rebuild should be the way to go. But moving on to the defensive side of the ball, I don't think we have a player that's rated higher than, I think, 79. Either 78 or 79, and I believe that to be one of our safeties. But one thing is for certain, our pass rushers and linebacking core need some serious work. My biggest concern on defense is not being able to stop the run. So the challenge is going to be trying to add some size up front while also adding some speed at linebacker. And I honestly don't know if that's even a possibility going into year 1 because I'm still working to figure out how this recruiting process works. I know by now there's probably hundreds of different tutorials across YouTube, but I'm not watching any of them. I kind of want to figure it out as I go. I'm sure there's going to be some similarities there between NCAA 14 and some of the earlier games. So I just want to play through it, and I know I'm going to make a ton of mistakes. I'm probably going to get killed down in the comments section, but eventually we'll get there. Now, as we're wrapping up this first look on defense, the corner position needs to be completely overhauled going into year 2. We've got 3 graduating seniors, so that needs to be another point of emphasis for us. Let's just face it, we need talent across the board at every position. But one thing that appears to be in our favor so far is that this looks like a pretty deep recruiting class. So I should have a good shot at improving the team at key spots if things pan out. Now, I want to do things a little bit differently in terms of recruiting, instead of targeting all these 2 and 3 star type guys as recommended. And I know that you can find hidden gems in these lower tier prospects, but for me, I'm targeting players that are going to be difference makers day one on the squad. So while 2-star players like Robert Eichenberg here might be easier to recruit, I'm going to take my chances and go after a higher caliber recruit because the risk to reward payoff is much higher in that scenario. Now, as you guys can see, I've already populated my recruiting board, and at the top of the list is quarterback Mateo Burgess out of Burleson, Texas. I've already scouted him and offered him a scholarship because look at the attributes. He's just almost off the charts. Between the throw power, accuracy, and speed, this guy's going to be a lot of fun to play with, so I'm going to be recruiting him pretty heavily throughout the year. Hopefully we can sign him. But right now, we're not even close to being the team that he's considering, so we're going to have to change that somehow over the next few weeks. And the same could be said for our next quarterback prospect, Byron Sermon. In order to get him to sign, it's going to take some convincing, but just take a look at his attributes. It's pretty decent across the board as well. His speed isn't where I want it to be, but his throw power and accuracy almost make up for it. But I may end up dropping him one spot on the board for our next quarterback prospect in Paul Naylor. And that's mainly due to the fact that Byron is more of a traditional pocket passer, while Paul as well as Mateo are both mobile quarterbacks with speed. And I truly believe that that's the way that the game is headed if we're not already there. Now, Paul does have us in his top 5 schools. Right now we're sitting at number 4, and I think that's pretty good, especially at this point in the season. I know a lot of things may change throughout the course of the year, but right now we have a very realistic possibility of signing him, I think. And that also goes for our next prospect here in Raheem Chestnut, the 6'2 corner out of La Habra, California. He's got all the attributes you can ask for out of a zone corner, and right now we are number 2 on his list of schools. So hopefully we'll be able to land him because I'd really like to add him to our secondary. As for the remaining players on my board, there's a lot of guys that I still need scouting points in order to recruit, so I won't be able to show ratings for all players on my board. Just know that I'll give you an update if I get a player that's closer to signing or if a player actually signs. So with all that said, let's finally hop into week 1 against FCS Midwest. Let's go! Now the Aztecs take the field on defense to start their first series. Dilworth takes the snap from the gun for FCS and throws underneath, and the pass is broken up. 2nd and 10. Dilworth staying with the passing attack, scrambles and connects with the receiver near the sideline, and that'll bring up 3rd and 3. So looking for short yardage here, FCS still going back to the pass, and this is going to be batted down incomplete to bring up 1st and 10 for the Aztecs. So now we get our first look on offense as Duffy snaps it from center, hands it off up the middle, and Keenan Kristen will pick up just enough for a 1st down. Next play, going with the jet sweep, Polk looking for running room but gets bottled up in the backfield, and luckily we didn't lose any yardage on the play. That'll bring up a 2nd and 10 from the FCS 38. Duffy now out of the pistol, going with the play action fake, has the receiver open but gets hit as he throws, and that'll bring up a 3rd and long now. Looking to keep the drive alive, Duffy drops back, is under pressure and gets rid of it, but the pass is dropped by Lewis Brown. He had a chance to make a play but just couldn't bring it in. So FCS now starts their next drive at the 32. Dilworth with the read option, keeps it and gets drilled. The ball comes out and San Diego State is there to recover, and this is going back to the house. So the first score of the series comes on a fumble recovery by Josh Hunter, but we gotta give credit to Will Nemo for delivering the hit and punching it out. How does FCS respond now to being down 7-0? By getting sacked. Cody Moon was absolutely screaming on that play. We ended up sending one more guy than they could block up front, and Cody was able to get through untouched to bring down the quarterback. Luckily for them though, Dilworth was able to hang on to the ball this time around, but that was a nice play by the defense. After the sack now, FCS facing a 2nd and 17. Dilworth snaps it, hands it to Kemp up the middle, and he'll be brought down after a short gain to give him 3 on the play. 3rd and 14 now out of the gun, looking to stretch the field with 4 wide. Dilworth keeps it himself, and he's gonna be able to pick up the first down after a missed tackle there at the line. What a heads-up play by the FCS quarterback there, because all the Aztec defenders were easily 17 to 20 yards downfield, so he was able to capitalize on that play. But facing a 2nd and long now after the fumble recovery by FCS, Dilworth snaps it, gives it to Kemp for his 2nd carry on the drive, and he'll find running room off the right side for a pickup of 6. The Aztecs now have another chance to get off the field here, facing a 3rd and long. Dilworth is looking for a shot deep but can't find a man open, so he checks it down, and we're there to force the 3 and out. The return team then takes the field with Lewis Brown IV back deep to return the punt. The kick is away. Brown receives it at the 20, looking for running room, cuts it back inside and finds a lane, and he's got nothing but green grass in front of him. He's going all the way to the house. So at some point our offense needs to put a drive together to score some points, but I guess I shouldn't complain too much as long as our special teams and defense can score. It's probably not sustainable, but I'll definitely take it for now. Anyways though, getting back to it, FCS seems to be finding some momentum here on this drive. As they change the play at the line of scrimmage, Dilworth barking out instructions at the line, snaps it and fires a quick pass that's caught near the sideline for a gain of 8. 2nd and 2 now. Out of a 3 wide set with 1 tight end, Dilworth snaps it from the gun. After the play fake buys time, he finds a wide open receiver near the sideline. That'll be more than enough to move the chains. It's starting to look like FCS has finally gotten in the rhythm on this drive. As the receiver goes into motion, Dilworth hands it off to Kemp. He's got blocking off the right side, and he's gonna punch it in for the touchdown. What a response by FCS Midwest. Now that FCS has woke up on offense, let's see if we can do the same. Starting with the ground attack with the pitch off to the left side, Keenan Christian's able to juke his way up to the 47 to move the chains. It looks like we got an injury on the field to one of the FCS players. But after the last run by Christian, we hand it to him again, and this time he gets stuffed behind the line for a 1-yard loss. We then spread the field out of an empty set. Duffy throws a dart that's completed to Christian that moves the chains into FCS territory. Still out of the gun, Duffy signals motion, takes the snap, goes with the play fake, looking to make a play downfield, throws it into coverage and is intercepted. That is not what we needed right now. The poor read by Duffy is going to lead to a pick 6, and instead of going up by 2 scores, we have a tie ball game. So how do we respond after that 7-point gift? Duffy takes it from center, goes with the play fake, and is under pressure and is forced to get rid of it. Fortunately, we had a receiver in the area because that was really close to intentional grounding. The FCS defense is doing a pretty good job here making us work for it as that pass gets batted down and complete, and now we're faced with a 3rd and long here. But Duffy then drops back and fires an absolute laser that's caught by Kristen that sets us up with a 4th and 2. And there is no hesitation by the coaching staff. The offense stays on the field to go for it. Out of a 4 wide set, looking for something quick, Duffy fires underneath and is caught by Lewis Brown IV, and that'll extend the drive. This is really starting to feel like one of those drives where we must capitalize on field position. To this point, the offense hasn't really done much as Kristen carries it up the middle for a gain of 4 or 5 on that play. This game could easily be 14-zip FCS if not for our defense and special teams. We've got to be aggressive here and execute here on 3rd and long. As Duffy makes a check at the line, takes a snap out of an empty set and rifles it down the seam, and it's caught by Brown for the touchdown. After a quarter and a half, our offense was finally able to put up some points. Hopefully our defense can bounce back now as they gave up a touchdown on their last drive. But it's not off to a good start because they were just gashed for a huge run on 3rd down. Now FCS is just outside of the red zone. After the short carry goes nowhere, FCS now has it at the 35. Dilworth takes a snap from the gun and completes a pass underneath to the back, who turns it upfield and gets a huge chunk of yardage on that play. That'll move him well within field goal range if we can only get a stop here. They then dial up the screenplay. Dilworth dumps it off to the back, and he gets tackled after a gain of maybe 7 on the play. Staying aggressive here, Dilworth fires a quick pass that's caught for a 1st down, and FCS is now in a position to tie this game up. The defense drops back into coverage and Dilworth keeps it and runs it in for the score. And just like that, we've got ourselves a ball game. You may want to strap yourselves in for this one, folks. The offense now breaks the huddle, coming out in the 5-wide set. Duffy's in an empty backfield. Might see something in the defense and could be changing the play here. Takes the snap, drops back, looks downfield deep. He's got a man, and it's caught by Mekhi Shaw. He's going to take it all the way, and that's how you take the top off a defense. A.J. Duffy to Mekhi Shaw with an 80-yard bomb to retake the lead. Now the offense gets the ball back after the defense forces a 3-and-out. Duffy comes out of the pistol, takes the snap, hands it off, and Christian's gonna stumble ahead for maybe 3 or 4 on the play. Defense could be expecting run here, but we try it anyways, handing the ball to Christian, and he's trying to get to the edge, but he gets brought down just before turning the corner. So that brings up a 3rd and short situation. Out of the gun now, Duffy with the snap, looking downfield, taking another shot deep, and it's Mekhi Shaw once again with another deep grab, and that'll be more than enough to move the chains. And it's safe to say that our OC has found something that he likes versus his FCS secondary, because Mekhi Shaw has absolutely been going off on the last 2 drives. We'll see if it continues. After Deshaun Polk picks up the first down on the jet sweep, we go right back to the ground attack for a short gain. That'll bring up 2nd and 8. Going back to the pass now, Duffy tries to sneak one underneath, but that play goes nowhere, and that'll bring up 3rd and 8 in the red zone. We cannot squander this opportunity, and we can still get a first down here without punching it in. But A.J. Duffy gets hit trying to run it, but fortunately our lineman was right there to recover the ball, and we're forced to settle for a field goal attempt. Now, the kick is up and good, right between the uprights, and we do extend our lead, making it a 2-possession game. However, we gotta be disappointed with the way we executed in the red zone. We have gotta do better next time. But speaking of execution, the FCS offense is now in San Diego State territory looking to respond. This might be a pass play here. No, they keep it on the ground and the San Diego State defense is all over it. So facing a 2nd and long, they hand it off and the back gets tackled once again for no gain, bringing up a 3rd and 12 situation. The offense then tries to increase the tempo by hurrying everybody back to the line. After a quick check on the sideline, Dilworth takes the snap out of the gun, looking to set up the screen. They dump it off to the back, and the defense is all over it to shut it down. So with FCS now making it a 1-possession game, we've got to respond. The run by Christian gets 4 on the play, bringing up 2nd and 6. Christian then sneaks out of the backfield, sets up the screen, makes the grab, trying to find blocking, but there is none, and that'll leave us with a 3rd and short from the FCS 29. Duffy, out of the gun, takes the snap, hands it off to Christian up the middle, and he will be denied, bringing up 4th down. And without hesitation, we're going for it. Duffy tries to find a receiver, but is picked off by the linebacker. What a disastrous decision to throw that. I don't know what happened. I must have panicked in the pocket or something, but that's definitely a throw I wish I could have back. But getting on defense now after the interception, we got to get a stop. As Dilworth motions his back to the flat, takes the snap, drops it off quick, and Bracey turns it upfield for a pickup of 8 yards. That keeps the offense on schedule for this next play. On 2nd and 2, Dilworth with the snap, the defense sends pressure, and Dilworth connects with the receiver wide open, and there are no defenders in front of him. He's going to take it all the way down to the 1-yard line to set up 1st and goal for FCS. And after being able to march down the field in just 2 short plays, they've got all the momentum working for them. But right now, we just need our defense to somehow make a stand. Here on 2nd and goal now. The receiver goes in motion, Dilworth with the snap, fires out quick and is caught, but the defense is there to make the play for no gain. So facing 3rd and goal, Dilworth snaps it, and he's under pressure immediately, yet somehow evades 2 defenders and walks into the end zone. How is this even possible? My players don't even make an attempt to tackle the quarterback. They just politely escort him into the end zone. I mean, take a look at this. My D lineman should be the first player to tackle the quarterback. Then my corner has him lined up perfectly and then steps aside for some reason. And then I don't even know what my safety is trying to do there. This is just ridiculous. EA, you gotta give me a break with the Heisman cheese this season. So now we've got a little over 7 minutes to play in the game. It's really starting to feel like whichever team has the ball last is probably gonna win this one. Hopefully we'll be able to recapture some momentum here on this drive. As Kristen takes the handoff from Duffy, finds some running room off the left side before going out of bounds for a nice pickup. The next play on 1st and 10, Duffy drops back. He wants it all, but is picked off by Ed Reed. Now, I know that's not Ed Reed, but that was definitely an Ed Reed type of play. Check it out. This is what I saw when I triggered the throw. That's as open as it gets. If the quarterback places the ball at the top between the S and T, that's an easy 6 points. But the safety was fast enough to close the gap and make a play on the ball, and now we gotta play defense. With under 5 minutes to go in the game, Dilworth fires a quick pass that's broken up and complete. That brings up 2nd down. Bracy then gets the carry, runs by a defender off the right side, and he gets nice yardage on the play to move the chains. The offense then lines up 3 wide. Dilworth tries to get rid of it quick, but the defense is all over that to bring up 2nd and 10. The defense then makes a late play adjustment, anticipating the pass. Dilworth, out of the gun with the snap, has time in the pocket, decides to scramble to buy time, looking downfield, but gets pushed out of bounds at the 13. That sets up a huge 3rd and 9 for this defense with a chance to force FCS to try a field goal. Then Dilworth, orchestrating traffic, sends a man in motion, takes the snap, with time in the pocket, delivers a pass that's caught underneath by the tight end, and he has the 1st down. So things have gotten much more interesting as FCS now has a goal-to-go scenario. On 1st and goal, the quick pass to the tight end is caught for a 1-yard pickup. They follow that with a handoff to Bracy, looking for running room but gets stuffed behind the line and actually loses 2 on the play. Facing yet another huge 3rd down in this drive, Dilworth snaps it and tries to scramble but runs right into the defense for the sack. That'll force an FCS field goal try to take the lead. I know it wasn't pretty, but I'm calling that a win for the defense because it gives the ball back to the offense, and we have a chance here late in the 4th quarter. With 3 minutes left in the game, it's time to lock in. As Duffy takes the snap from the gun, drops back and fires a pass on target that's caught by Kristen, and he slips a tackle before being brought down at the 43. The defense comes out with 4 down linemen and 1 backer, so Kristen takes the carry up the middle for a gain of 4. Duffy might be changing the play here on 2nd down. He snaps it from the gun, drops back and fires completed to his tight end underneath, and that's going to move us up to the 42. Once again, Duffy in the backfield working his magic at the line of scrimmage, takes the snap from the gun, drops back, has a man open across the middle of the field and is caught. Mekhi Shaw with the reception, and he takes us deep into FCS territory. That sets up a 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line as Duffy snaps it from the gun and hands it off to Kristen, who rushes up the middle for a gain of 5 or 6 on the play. With just over a minute and 20 left in the game, the offense lines up with trips left and Kristen in the backfield. Duffy takes the snap, rolls out of the pocket, looks downfield, and finds Kristen near the sideline, who makes the grab and picks up the 1st down. Clock management now becoming a factor here on 1st and goal. Same formation, Duffy hands it off to Kristen off the left side, and he gets brought down at the 3. The fans in the stadium are all on their feet as the Aztecs break the huddle to line up. Duffy out of the gun takes the snap, hands it off to Kristen, who bullies his way in for the touchdown. Since the offense did their jobs the last series, now it's on the defense. We just need 1 more stop to get out of here with a W. As Dilworth fires underneath and the pass is broken up to set up 2nd and 10. 39 seconds left in the game. Dilworth, with time in the pocket, checks it down to Bracy, who picks up the 1st down and some. In an obvious passing down, the defense drops everyone in coverage. Dilworth tries to scramble and gets sacked. That'll back him up 6 yards to set up a long 2nd and 16 from the 32. With no timeouts, Dilworth snaps it, drops back to survey the field, scrambles out of the pocket, and throws a beautiful pass over the head of the corner that's caught by the tight end for the 1st down. What a nice touch throw by the quarterback there. And the drive is still alive, so everyone rushes back so Dilworth can clock it. Now with 19 seconds left in the game, a sack here would do it. As Dilworth has all kinds of time in the pocket, he could make a panini back there if he wanted to. Finally gets pressured and throws it out of bounds. Not sure where the intentional grounding is there, but they've now got 3rd and 10 from midfield. This time the 3-man pressure flushes Dilworth from the pocket, and he simply throws it away to try to save time. And this is for the ball game, folks. With 5 seconds to go, Dilworth snaps it, drops back, throws it as time expires. This is going to take a miracle, but is picked off by Josh Hunter in the end zone, and San Diego State will win their 1st game of the season. What a game, folks. The final in this one is 38-34 San Diego State, and as you just saw with players limping off the field there, this one took everything. This game was an absolute slugfest. Luckily, we're on the winning side of it, but this one really could have gone either way within the last couple of drives or so. But we'll take the win and hopefully some momentum into next week's matchup against Oregon State, because I'm sure that game is going to be even crazier than this one. But anyways, folks, that's all the time I've got for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one.
you.